Today's video, I'm gonna try and do a short analysis on my favorite dynamic in anime and visual novels, because most of the things I'm going to get for this are going to be from the Fate visual novel. Obviously, I don't think it is objectively the greatest dynamic, just made it the title because of YouTube reasons. There'll be of course spoilers from Fate Zero and Fate Heaven's Feel, so if you haven't read or watched them yet, I'd advise you to leave the video. If you're a Fate fan, make sure to stay on the channel as well, since I might be making more Fate analysis videos because recently I've been loving the series a lot. Also join the Discord down below so you can chat to people on whatever you want. Now right before you get into this video, subscribe if you haven't, hit the like button, turn on bell notifications and follow my Twitter down below. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Fighting
Emiya Shirou and Kotomine Kirei's relationship in the Fate series has always interested me. Kirei had known and fought against Shirou's adoptive father Kirisugu, but had held no kind of plan on what to do with Shirou whatsoever. In their first meeting, Kirei had dug into Shirou's past whilst playing around with his desire in a subtle manner. He had understood Shirou at first glance, but I'm sure he had been disgusted by the desire this person had. A hero of justice. To become a hero of justice, there would not only be saving involved, but a force that would rival that one hero to make them determined to save people. A force that would gradually grow to become the hero's final obstacle, a villain. Since Shirou had desired to become a hero of justice, he desired this one threatening force as well. When he had accepted his involvement in the 5th Holy Grail War, Kirei had said his iconic line, "Rejoice boy, your wish will finally come true. You should know, your wish will not come true unless there is a clear evil. Even if it is not something you approve of, a hero requires a villain to defeat." Since Shirou has a strong desire to protect people, he as well has a strong desire for something to attack. The most pleasant yet ugly wish of all. Did Shirou ever achieve that desire though? Well, an equal force finally had risen, a force that is the same yet different to Shirou. That one force would be Kirei, and his fight with Shirou had been foreshadowed ever since their first meeting. It took some time for their true fight to come though, but in Heaven's Feel, we finally get to see two broken men beating each other down, clashing against not only their fists, but their ideals as well. To truly understand why they're both so similar, we'll have to look into both their characters individually and finally discuss the final clash between the two of them. Let's first start with the protagonist of Fate, Emiya Shirou. Shirou is empty. Well, he was empty until Heaven's Feel, but let's look at him beforehand. Saved by Kirisugu from the deadly blazing fire caused by the Holy Grail, Shirou had lost his heart in the incident. He had described this by saying that the only way to keep his body moving was making his heart die. Metaphorically, of course. He has a strong amount of survivor's guilt as everyone around him had burnt to ashes. He was young, so this really mentally affected him. But what was the result of his now dead heart? He would still need something to keep his body moving and not become a lifeless corpse. So on the day of Kirisugu's death, Kirisugu had confessed to Shirou his dream of becoming a hero of justice. He even said afterwards that he had failed to complete his goal, but Shirou had thought that he couldn't let that dream die out, so he told Kirisugu that he would take up that ideal in his place and become a hero of justice. This had seemed pretty minuscule because Shirou was a kid, but he still kept that desire burning inside of him to this day. That one stolen desire. His body would now work on that goal like a machine, which is the reason Kirei had never been interested in Shirou too much until Heaven's Feel, where Shirou had betrayed that desire. Also, Shirou's ideal could be another reason why Gilgamesh dislikes him. He's a faker in his words, someone who has no identity of their own, and Gilgamesh was the one who had pushed Kirei to accept his own identity as well. So of course Gilgamesh likes people who accept themselves and know what they truly want. Shirou doesn't. He follows his father's failed goal and his body pushes him to continue that. Before I talk about how Shirou had betrayed his ideals in Heaven's Feel, let's go into Kirei's character before that. Kotomine Kirei was empty. He actually pushed himself to become this way when he realized what had entertained him in life. He couldn't accept the fact that he took pleasure in another person's torment, or would cry when he wasn't able to kill his own wife. Even if he had sought out for the church, he couldn't find a good answer there as well. Every time he would try to find pleasure in normal things, it would result in him feeling nothing. So knowing he felt happiness in tragic things, Kirei became empty by his own self. This was until he had met Gilgamesh, who had given him a slight push to finally accept the fact that he was born evil, that he wasn't able to enjoy pleasant moments but become joyful in another's suffering.
お前たちが幸福と感じるものが私には幸福と感じられなかった。
He finally had pride in his sole purpose in life, but to finally see if his existence was correct as he was born evil, Kirei had wanted Engra Manyu, who was all the world's evil, to be born to validate his existence. He would protect this unborn entity to see its birth and find the true meaning of his own life. If Engra Manyu is born, he may find his answer, hence the fight with Shirou at the end of Heaven's Feel. In the third root of fate, Heaven's Feel, Shirou had finally betrayed his ideal and found his own identity. We see this with him actually wanting to save Sakura instead of killing her. He knows she's become an evil force that can eliminate a lot of people where they live, and in fact she already had done so. The past Shirou would have tried to stop her, but this Shirou, the true Shirou, went to save her instead, betraying his desire to become a hero of justice and walk down his own path. I truly think this is the best version of Shirou out of all the other routes. Also, his involvement in saving Sakura would lead him to wanting to eliminate the one thing that is about to be born, all the world's evil, Engra Manyu. But there, defending it would be Shirou's final boss, someone who perfectly parallels with him and the person he came to like in this fight. Kirei's sole purpose is to see the despair in others. He was born like this. Kirei is acting out of his own sense of justice, which opposes Shirou's sense of justice. They are both their own protagonists and each other's antagonists, making neither the actual villain in this fight. Shirou could be a villain for trying to kill the unborn entity Engra Manyu, or Kirei could be a villain for wanting all the world's evil to be born for his own selfish reasonings. Kirei is on the defense and Shirou is on the attack. Two broken men driven by their own sense of ideals and justice for their own benefit. It's crazy how Kirei had thought that he had found Kurisugu similar to him, but instead found that similarity in that person's own son. The emptiness these two had shared perfectly matched up with each other, and finally Kirei had found someone like himself, as he had envied others for their ability to be like everyone else. Shirou had now fought for what he wanted, not just from a stolen desire. And I feel like Kirei came to like Shirou in the end as well, as in his death he had a smile on his face. Not an evil, menacing smile, but a pleased one. They both found someone similar to them and they loved that. They fought for their own ideals in the end and emptiness was no longer with them. In the end, Shirou had won due to Kirei's already dying body, but of course, Kirei had no regrets or sour feelings in his final conclusion. Their duality perfectly fits each other's characters, and I think it's pretty underrated when talking about protagonist and antagonist dynamics. I just made this video to talk about my favorite dynamic in all of anime and of course visual novels, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you're a Fate fan, consider staying on the channel because I might do a Kurisugu video or an Engra Manyu video as well. But like always, subscribe if you haven't, hit the like button, turn on bell notifications and follow my Twitter down below. It's been Endless Requiem, peace.